Welcome to the Why We Advocate podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Uribe, and joining us today is Dr. Ava Ramirez-Ene and Kim Henry, part of our military team here at NOVA. We're so excited to talk to you all about advocacy and the initiatives that NOVA has planned for our community. Let's dive right in. Hi, how are you both doing?
Good,
Good,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Great. So my first question, can you explain more about what military connected means and how NOVA supports our military connected communities?
Yeah, that's a great question. Military connected is a term that we use here at NOVA to define active duty service members, veterans, their dependents, which could be adults or children, but also the intimate partners. So that would be anyone who shares a child or a home with any of those service members, as well as National Guard and Reserve. And this is important because when we're talking about the military population, a lot of times you hear military connected or just the military. But in our work in victim advocacy, we know that there are a lot of services and programs for victims of domestic violence and dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. But in the military, for services and programs, a lot of times they need to be spouses or dependents of active duty service members. And that's not always the case when you're a military connected survivor of some of those forms of violence. And so when we say military connected, we want to ensure that we're not forgetting the intimate partners or individuals who, again, may be somehow connected to a military individual who may be experiencing some form of violence. So how NOVA supports or is helping these individuals or these communities is we have many different projects. The project that Ava and I work on is the Advocating for Military Connected Survivors project, which is to really help community advocates and legal personnel, law enforcement, healthcare providers, and social workers understand what military connected survivors need and the different systems between the civilian systems, the military systems, and recognize that it's challenging. There are different challenges. There's unique factors to consider. Military connected survivors have to jump through a couple extra hoops when seeking services and programs. And so there's a couple other projects that we have here at NOVA, but the biggest key takeaway from it is that expanding people's knowledge and understanding of military connected survivors.
Hey, thanks so much for explaining that. I know when I first heard it, I had questions about what do you mean military connected? And I think it's so important for us to think about the larger community, those intimate partners, the family members who also need access to resources and access to resources in a way that's going to meet their needs, speak their language, understand the criterias in which way they may be asking for help, and all of those great things. So as you mentioned, you use Military Connected, and I'm just so proud of NOVA to create opportunities for different members of our community to connect. And one of those is our annual train event, which will be held this summer virtually. And so I'm curious to hear, how will our NOVA 51 train event, how can military connected communities learn about trainings and network at our event this summer virtually?
Yeah, great question. So when we're talking about this population, we want to make sure that individuals, whether they have experience with the military or not, have the understanding, the skills and knowledge to really support victim survivors that are military connected. So what does that mean? That means training, education, awareness, and networking, all things that are going to be offered at NOVA 51 that we're very excited about. And the fact that it is virtual this year means that we can reach more people, with busy schedules. We know that we all have a lot going on, and we're really excited to be able to support not only victim survivors, but the direct service providers that support them. And we want to make sure that there are opportunities for additional connection. We want to build the bridges and fill gaps across the fences between military and civilian communities, because that's often where victim survivors fall through the gaps. And by attending the conference, by attending trainings, we can begin to spur that curiosity to learn more and to have more empathy for this population that is often forgotten.
Very, very well said. And the theme of our conference is celebrating community. So I love that we're spotlighting the military connected community, survivors, victims, veterans, family members, and all of that. So I'm going to reach our last question, and it's a play on the podcast name. So the name of our podcast is Why We Advocate. Can you share more about what your why is when in doing this work? What keeps you going with our audience?
Yeah, I think one, I love the name of this podcast. And I think that's just such a great question that can be asked at any time of the day and, any time, any generation. And why I advocate, I am a Navy veteran myself and, did 10 years in the Navy and was a sexual assault victim advocate during that time and have my own lived experience and joined the Navy with some of my own, trauma before joining the Navy. And just being an advocate myself, for myself, but also for those around me, and hopefully finding, even if it's helping that one person, um, and hearing a lot of times and talking to other advocates and hearing a lot of, well, what if things don't change, or what if you can't make change, or what if things stay the same. But there were so many moments where I've seen other people not have that help, or that just opportunity, or someone to be there for them. And so if I can be there, and that's one less person that doesn't have that person for them, or doesn't have that advocate supporting them, or doesn't have someone to tell them what happened to you is not okay, or that's not right, then you know what? I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep being that advocate, and hopefully uplift others to be advocates for themselves and others as well. So, primarily for the military community, being a veteran, seeing the challenges that can happen, fighting on a policy level, advocating on a policy level is why I continue to advocate.
Thanks so much, Kim. Ava?
Yes, thank you. Such an important question. And it really is something that we need to ask ourselves, if not every day, every week, every month, to really check into why we continue to show up to do this work. And for me, I am a retired Marine Corps veteran. I served for almost 9 years in the Marine Corps on active duty. And during my service, I also held a secondary billet as a uniform victim advocate for sexual assault military survivors. And it was really this experience in that advocacy role, along with my own lived experience, that ignited my passion for advocacy, for justice, especially for marginalized and at-risk communities, such as military and communities of color. And I really feel as though we need to continue to be and support the voices of those that are often siloed or diminished or dismissed. And how we do that is by showing up in these spaces and continue to show up to work every single day. So as we continue this work supporting military connected survivors, I would encourage the community and military advocates to really check in with themselves, with each other, to really remove any personal biases or misconceptions that are often come along with communities that are at higher risk. And how can we do that is by showing up and continue to learn and grow in our roles with experiences such as the NOVA event and additional training that NOVA can provide.
Well, thank you both. I am truly inspired by the work that you all do every day. And yes, I love asking the why question because we should check in every day, every moment. Every hour it may change. When we're doing this work as a community, we know that there are often barriers and obstacles that we're working through, but we are a community of advocates. We like saying that here at NOVA, and we mean it. And our annual training event is a great opportunity for you to join our community. If you haven't already registered, please go to our website to do so. You can hear from amazing speakers and community advocates like Ava and Kim, who will be there. You're virtually supporting our team. And we just hope that you all can come together and really connect, just like our team is doing here. So thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Why We Advocate podcast. Stay tuned for more ways about how NOVA is celebrating community on the next episode. Thanks so much.